afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Neighborhood Pro. And we're excited to bring you some amazing people here. It's a couple, Patrick and Heather Rurka, and their company and philosophy is referred to as PHASCO Health. So just want to say hello and yay, congratulations for you guys having your company the last couple of years. And I'm just really excited to hear so much about it. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. So I'm going to start off with, of course, a little intro for each of you because you both have similar backgrounds, but you work as a team.
Yeah.
So I'd love to start with just a little bit about each of you saying a little bit about why you do what you do and a little bit of just a touch on your background.
Sure. Sounds good. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I can go. Yeah, absolutely. So background is pharmacy. Have a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, have been a clinical pharmacist for over 20 years. Most of my practice was in the hospital setting and really, love the helping people. That's what drew me to the profession in the first place. And came to a point in my practice where I really kept seeing what we'd call frequent flyers. So people that, were known to us that would keep coming in and physically things were wrong with them. You could see that, but we knew no matter how many, tests that we did, imaging, whatever, we wouldn't necessarily be able to find anything that we could fix, shall we say.
Right.
And I just felt like there had to be more to it. There had to be some sort of root cause that we were missing. And I was drawn to learning more about that, doing personal work, personal development and all of those kind of things, gathered up skills in that area and learned some really important things about myself and that are true for everybody that I really felt could make a difference. And so I stepped back from that role and started helping people in a different way so that, it's augmenting the Western medicine that we're used to using and really dealing with the root causes for dis-ease in our bodies and helping people move into more of that peaceful, happiness, healthy body that they should have.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's right. So thanks, Chris. So Heather and I met actually at university in the pharmacy program. So for the last 20 years, we've been practicing pharmacy in a couple of different modalities. We both started in the hospital. I transferred into working in the community pharmacy. Heather and I bought the Rimby Value Drug Mart back in 2004, and we ran that drugstore for a number of years. Mm-hmm. When we got to 2017, as Heather was saying, we started to see that medications play a small piece in the healing and moving someone forward, but it's only a small piece. And we started to lose the luster of just giving out medications, helping people grow. And that's when we started our own personal journey into how do you make the body that you're in as healthy and happy and peaceful as possible. Mm-hmm. That led us on our own journey to the point where we said, you know what, we don't want to give out pills anymore. Pills play an important part, but it's such a small part. What we want to do is get into the prevention and the maintenance of healthy bodies. And that's how PHASCO became. So PHASCO is actually an acronym. It stands for peace, happiness, abundance, significance, which is purpose. What's your purpose in life? Mm-hmm. The C is connection or love. What brings you the love in your life? And the O stands for open-hearted. What allows you to be your authentic self, your vulnerable self? And we took that acronym and said, how do we help people grow? And we created a number of jobs that we do in the PHASCO program. So we help with mindset training, helping to get you out of your negative limiting beliefs. Mm-hmm. We help you with things that are holding you back. So weight loss, quitting smoking. Mm-hmm. And our journey also took us on a completely different adventure into the area of energy medicine. We're both trained in two different modalities, one being emotion code by Dr. Bradley Nelson, and one being the subconscious release technique. And what we use that for is to help any individual, doesn't matter what your level of education is, where you are in your life, we help individuals get rid of their biggest limiting beliefs. So I kind of like to joke and call us emotional windshield wipers. When you're on a journey, when you're on a journey and you're trying to get from A to B, and you're looking out that windshield of the world. If your windshield is full of limiting beliefs, things like, I can't do it, it's too hard, nobody will help me, I'm not loved, I'm just not good enough, I don't matter, and I don't belong, they're literally blocking that view for you. They're slowing you down, and they're causing you to go almost in reverse.
Right.
So as an emotional windshield wiper, what we do is we use our techniques and our modalities to literally clean that windshield off. And now you're in this vehicle with a perfectly clear vision of where it is you want to get to, and we help you get to those goals. So that's probably the easiest way to describe it. We do the work as a group. We have a 12-week program that we run 2 to 3 times a year, where we take people in and we do Zoom calls like this. We also do, the majority of our work is all online. So we can help individuals in their own home, at their own computer, break through some of these biggest limiting beliefs. And it's been such a fascinating ride. After stepping out of the pharmacy world and getting into one-on-one mentoring and coaching, one-on-one health and wellness, we're seeing some incredible strides in people. And it's just been such a pleasure.
That's fantastic, guys. And you know, it's very fascinating, just the way that you explain it. Of course, I know about your company and on all the services you provide, but hearing a refresher about, you know, just how you got to where you are today, but also the different elements. Because, you know, being in real estate myself, but being a professional, there's 2 modalities, I guess you could say, of mental health that we're typically used to hearing about, which is mind over matter. You know, that typical, you know, smarten up, get out of that. Don't think about that. And then there's, oh, just go work it off, do some exercise, clear your head, eat healthy. And it's funny because although those are pretty good mandates, and you can say you can be very successful with that mindset, there's just something that when I learned about your program that was so unique in that it doesn't necessarily not take those into consideration, but it's so much deeper and more specific to each individual with these different elements you bring forward. Like someone like myself, I have faith. You know, my mind over matter is having belief in God and that he's got things, you know, covered for me. Not everybody has that. So then, you know, there's a more traditional style, but then also the whole medicinal Western medicine, you know, we all get aches and pains and headaches. And we all eat healthy some days and not so healthy others, but it's more than just your diet too. When you look at some of these tools you've used about clearing your mind, clearing these habitual patterns or thoughts we've had since young children.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was definitely a very unique factor in understanding personal well-being, about how many repetitive things from our childhood we bring forward into adulting.
Yes, absolutely. And we literally are just the big child from our past.
Yeah.
Those things that we've hung on to tend to stick with us. And if you go back and you listen to people that have been in the self-help or the coaching world, the biggest piece that they use is affirmations. Like you said, it's mind over matter. Just tell yourself you're good enough. Tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself you
say it till you believe it.
You believe it. Let me give you a bit of an analogy. So I've got my water bottle here. So imagine this is your brain. And in this brain, this liquid that in here, it's kind of muddy from our childhood, from our past, from all of the experiences we brought to this point. There's some negativity in here. There's some dirt. There's those experiences of not being good enough, not belonging, not feeling like we're worthy, feeling like we don't matter. And then when someone says to you, you know what, just don't believe that. Just do affirmations. Just tell yourself you're good enough and you're worthy. That's like pouring more water in the top of a dirty jar. If you do it for years and years and over, eventually you'll work the mud out. And eventually the jar, your brain, will be clean. What we do is we take it a step further, is we go back and we look at what is the dirt that's in there? What are the things that you've been hanging on to? What's the memory? What's the trauma? What's the belief? Those feelings of not being loved or not being worthy.
What's the doubt? What's the fear?
Yeah. And we literally take that and instead we dump them out. We use a breathing technique along with some energetic work to actually empty that out. And then you add the affirmations. So it's actually a 4-step process. First, we have to identify what it is that's holding you back. Then we identify the negatives and we release the negatives. And then, interestingly enough, we have to clear the blocks with the positive. Great world, in a world of sales. If you have a belief that says, I can't get the sale, or it's too hard, or nobody wants to talk to me, or I'm being a bother, Well, if you have a belief that says I'm being a bother, even when someone says, no, I've got time, you might feel rushed. You might feel anxious. You might feel like you've got to get everything out because you're blocking yourself from believing that you're not being a bother. So we have to clear all of that out of there and then do the affirmations. Those words in spiritual comes into it. What are you designed to be? The belief that says, I am a success. I am worthy. I am loved.
I am good enough.
I am good enough. And we fill that back up so that by the end, like we said, when you're looking at that horizon, now we've put octane in your vehicle, we've cleaned off your windshield, and you can get there so much quicker. So it's been such a fascinating journey. And every time we work with a new client, we find some things that are very, very similar. Everybody's got stuff. Your stuff is not exactly the same as Heather's stuff or my stuff, but we all have baggage. And if we can unload that baggage, all of a sudden it makes that journey easier. And that's what we do.
Yeah. And I just love that it's so much deeper than mind over matter. And really, like, that's what it comes down to, where so much of our society is like, well, snap out of it. And you see it even in social media today with a lot of people stressing about the COVID restriction lifestyle that we're leading. And, you know, just the harm that I see people, you know, well, you should just smarten up and you should just stop that. And, you know, although there must be intentionally saying that they're strong people, that, you know, smacking someone isn't really going to snap them out of it.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Right. And you know, the old adage of it's all in your head, right? Was always kind of downplay, right? It's like it's all in your head. Like just fix it. How I look at that now is empowering, because it is all created in here, and we have the power to change the story. Yeah. So it's like, that's awesome. It's not over there. It's not over there. It's not here. It's right here. And I have control over this. So we help people recognize that they have control over their thoughts and their feelings and how they want to walk through the world, and help them take back that power.
Yeah.
So
and I think
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was going to say, I think just understanding as well, mind over matter and like it's all in your head is the case, but not having additional tools to say, well, how do I get it out of my head?
Yeah.
How do I change that terrible song that I heard on the radio that's ringing in my head all day to a song that I want to hear?
Exactly.
That's right. A big part of what we do is that, how do you control your thoughts? Or who's in control of your thoughts, and literally giving you back the power to say, you get to decide in any situation. It's like a fork in the road. There's a direction that will take you to fear and disappointment, and there's a direction that will take you to love and growth. And you get to decide which way you want to go in each of those circumstances.
And any event or any thing we experience is simply that, until we attach a meaning to it. And so we get to choose what meaning we attach. We can't change things that happened in the past, but we can help people change the story around it and change the meaning around it.
Totally. Now, you've touched a lot on the different elements today for what we wanted to share with people, but I'd like to be more specific now about an example of someone other than myself, because obviously I understand your business model, who should choose you when they're needing a switch in their life. They're saying, I'm ready for it, but I don't know how to do it. What is something that you would say is a good way to say, a good example of someone who they didn't know what to do, but they knew that they needed something? How did you reach out to them? What did they do to get in contact? Like that whole, does that make sense? I guess, like, how did they get themselves to a point where they knew how to reach out to you? When were they ready? When are you ready for this?
Great question. And the way that I would look at that in a lot of cases is when a person gets to the point where they're chronically uncomfortable. You're waking up in the morning and the first thing that you do before you touch the alarm clock is go, what's the point? Or they wake up in the morning and they go, I have no direction. I don't know what I'm doing. They wake up in the morning and they're sore all over. Soreness in the body, aches, pains, arthritis, ulcers, all of that kind of stuff starts as a dis-ease in a thought process or a pain. So many people out there live with post-traumatic problems. So trauma and stress from their past that leaves them feeling like they're stuck. They call it the comfort zone. Like people get stuck in their little comfort zone, but what we really call it is a familiar zone. You can get stuck in a familiar zone of being uncomfortable, of being unhappy, of feeling unworthy, and not knowing how to fix it. And the people that usually typically come to us have had that light bulb that goes, no more. Like, I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to live like this.
I don't want to act like this. Like
anymore.
If you find that you're snapping at people, or your relationships are falling apart, or you just feel alone.
That's where we really shine.
Yeah.
I was on a call yesterday with a lady, and as we started speaking, and I brought up those same things, the 6 biggest beliefs that can be holding anyone back. I'm not enough. So the feeling like I'm telling myself I'm not enough, or the feeling like someone in your life has made you feel like you're not good enough. Then I'm not loved. If you feel like there's things in your past that have made you believe that you're not loved or not lovable or not worthy of love, I can't do it. I don't matter. I don't belong. And I'm not safe. If any of those thoughts are running your life and are preventing you from being everything that you want to be, that's the people that come to us. And this person I'm thinking about yesterday, I'm not safe was her belief. Her body was starting to turn against her. She was chronically dealing with indigestion and stomach pain. And as we started talking, and I mentioned, trauma from the past can be a side effect of these types of things going on in your body, she started to get a little teary. And she says, "So there's some stuff there back there." And I was like, okay, well, let's look at how can we bring some of that to the surface. Then we're going to identify the programs that we continue to tell ourselves over and over again. We'll get rid of the negative. We'll clear any blocks with the positive, and we'll get you back on track. And instantly, in an hour-long call, we changed the direction of where she was. So we took her out of that place of uncomfortable but familiar and moved her into a place of hope, and a place of faith, and a place of growth, knowing that we don't have to be chained to that story anymore. And so
I really like that. And if I could just reiterate the 2 things that stand out the most is, you can't explain your tools to somebody. They have to experience it. And, I know that's one thing that I've learned about it. It's like when I try to explain to somebody what I've experienced through some of the elements of your program, it doesn't make any sense when I talk about it, but you feel it instantly. So I like that you just addressed that. In a 1-hour time period, you were able to take somebody who was really frail and really not certain about what her life was like, to just having optimism and hope and some skills maybe and some power to say, okay, now I know what I can do on a daily basis, not just thank you for the massage, right?
Yeah,
it's a bit deeper than that.
Yeah.
But then secondly, I want to also redirect this, because we have a lot of professionals in our sphere, about people that, like myself, with your program as a very successful professional, I was also able to say, you know what? I can't reach that certain goal. I can't reach that certain element of my business of, I want to be bigger than what I am, but for selfless reasons. I want to donate more. I want to offer more services. How do I take this mental cap that can't be done because I don't have the tools, or I'm not sure? And so that's one of the things I wanted to bring to it, as well as even like a really healthy mindset person. Not that I'm saying that's who I am. We all have fun stuff to deal with, but as a successful professional, I actually have been able to elevate my business in what we could wager to say is one of the worst economical and fearful times in our society today, where my business has actually grown through this process.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, Chris, because I was going to add, when he finished, I was going to add that that's another whole subsect of the people that we see are the people who check a lot of stuff off their report card. It's like, I'd really like to get past where I'm at right now. How do I up level? How do I get to that next level? What am I missing? What is blocking me? What's standing in the way? Because I think I've tried everything, but I really want to get there. So absolutely.
And what we find in a lot of those cases is it's actually, our job really is to help you get out of your own way.
Yes.
Because those limiting beliefs are typically ceilings that we've put on. I can't make any more than this money. It's hard for me to grow in this situation. Employees are a problem. As we say these things, they become limiting beliefs, and they put a ceiling on what we can do. Our job is to literally go in, find out what they are, cancel them out, and then replace them with what's the truth, what's the next level, what's the next dot on that horizon. as we move you forward. So absolutely. It's such a pleasure working with professionals because number one, they know that there's a certain amount of work that they have to put in to get to that point. So we get to empower them and encourage them on the way. And like you said, give them the tools that they need so they can hit those next milestones.
And it doesn't matter who you are. If you have lived into adulthood, I mean, this happens even before adulthood, but you've made it to some sort of adulthood, career, job, whatever you're doing in your life, you have these limiting beliefs. You have these programs. You have trapped emotions from experiences that you've been through that are, you know, messing with your full potential. And so we're just there to help figure out what those are and just clean them up for you.
And as individuals, I've often heard, especially in real estate or in any sales position, you know, super successful people are usually single and have no dependents because they can work 24/7. And so in all honesty, that was a belief that I had as a professional is I have a family, I have kids. How am I supposed to compete with that? Right. Or do I even want that? So pretty funny conversations have come out of like my limiting beliefs that I've had about my position and my job too. So I want to retrace our steps to a different direction here because you guys have so many different things. I want to talk a little bit about specifics. So one thing I can say, I know you have programs as cheap as somebody having a 1-hour session with a trainer, for goodness sakes. And then you have other month-long and multiple session-long health plans and consultation plans, but you also have big groups that you're with and big groups that potentially people can feed off each other in terms of the program that they've put into place. So because you have so many different elements, could you touch on a little bit more about the different programs that you offer and time lengths, like so 1 day or 1 week or 6 months or just a couple of different ideas?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. You want to go? Okay. So there's a few different ways that we approach this. When we first started, the way PHASCO was developed was to be a 12-week program. And the reason we made it 12 weeks was because it wasn't meant to be like a quick fix and then you fall back in your old habits. It was, let's make this long enough that we reinforce the positives, we change the way that we look at either food, nutrition, and mindset, and get you on track. And so that 12-week program, we still run in a couple of ways. You can sign in and do it on a do-it-yourself, where it will literally feed you a video a day for 12 weeks that walks you through how to do some of that mental clarity, the tools that you need, as well as a nutrition program. So the first one is do it yourself. The second one is you can sign in and do the live program where we meet once a week as a group on Zoom. We're just finishing up the 12-week program. We're at week 11 right now. And that one, it's more like being on a team, on a journey where you get to know the individuals. You get to share some of your stories and your personality. It was so fun on the call this morning, just watching them cheer for each other. One person was going through a bit of a universal challenge line. And in that moment, everyone just kind of rallied around them. And so you create that camaraderie. So that one, that program typically runs for just under, is it just under 300? $397. So just under $400 for that program. And then we also have what's just a nutritional program. We will, for $100, you can sign up to be a part of our Facebook page that we meet with twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we give you a guided program on how to get into better healthy eating and healthy thinking. And so that's been really popular of late. That one's just $99 a month. So it's $99 a month.
No.
She does the prices.
So the lifetime membership for that was $97.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. We used to do a monthly, and then everybody wanted to keep getting back in. So we're like, why don't we just say it's $97 lifetime membership to the membership site? You have the membership site that you log in. There's a bunch of DIY stuff on there, classes, and then yes, you have access to the Facebook page, 2 live calls a week. That we hop on and facilitate ourselves. And
if you're not into the do-it-yourself and you're not into the group and you want to work one-on-one, we typically offer it as a package. The reason for that is when we start getting into these limiting beliefs, there's a certain amount of work that we need to do, and it takes a little bit of time, but the benefits are incredible. So we offer it as a 5-hour package for $997. And that's
Okay.
a one-on-one. We get right into your issues. We go deep into what's holding you back. And we use multiple modalities. We use the subconscious release to do what the thinking parts are. We use the emotion code to get into the trapped things that are inside your body.
I use the body code to deal with any imbalances that you have energetically or physically. We bring in our healthcare backgrounds and our coaching backgrounds, and all our tools are available to our clients.
And depending on what it is that you're looking for, I've had individuals, we bring them in at the $997 and we use it as a quitting smoking program. And what will happen in that situation is I'll basically guarantee you that by the end of the 5 hours, we'll have knocked out all those limiting beliefs that are holding you back from being tobacco free or free if you chew tobacco. And if we're not successful, if you've done the work and we've done all the healing and it doesn't work, I'll give you your money back because it's so successful. Yeah, because the reason for that is that quitting smoking is 90% mental and 10% habit. So if we start time to work on that emotional side, that mental side, those limiting beliefs, then you're far more willing to let go and willing to step into who you really are.
Right.
And so it's absolutely fascinating from that side of things. So,
and then I think the last piece is that we do work with couples as well when they're both in the relationship 100% wanting to make things work, wanting to up level, wanting to, improve how things are going. We also work with couples as well, where it's a bit more money because you get both of us for both of you. But we love seeing successful relationships too. And so much of it is not actually about the person standing in front of you. It's about what we each bring into the relationship.
It's the baggage you bring into that relationship.
Right.
And when we clear it, when we sit down, if you can imagine 4 people sitting in a room and everyone puts, okay, this is my stuff. This is the stuff that's not serving me and it's stopping me from loving you fully. As we unload those backpacks, the desire and the ability to love that person unconditionally grows monumentally.
All right. Well, not to interrupt, but I think I really like the comprehensiveness of like the smaller 1 hour session up to the big group session, but back to one-on-one if you're just personally private, don't want to work with other people, but you really see the value in having this little, like you said, group of 5 sessions to just kind of restart your life. Right. I also want to really address to our viewers that I really love your cost approach to it, and that this is one of the most affordable health and well-being programs and companies that I've ever come across. When you look at what people spend for a fitness pass in a month, what people spend for a chiro or a massage therapy for an hour, and someone just saying, hey, you know what? I want to buy a new workout gym for my house, what they would spend on that versus I guess you could say the rewards and the tools that you get from your program. I really actually don't think there's anything as good as this value. I wouldn't want to use the word cheap, but it really is like that. So
thank you.
So that's I want to stress that for our viewers. Yeah.
Life has been very abundant to us. And so part of our giving back is making sure that this program is affordable for all walks of life, whether you're coming in and you've got nothing going for you. Life's been really hard, all the way up to that professional. We can talk on all of those levels. And in order to do that, we set a price that says, you know what, come and let us serve you. So.
Yeah. And actually coming into someone's home via Zoom makes it even, time blocks are so easy when they don't have to drive for an hour to get somewhere or drive for 20 minutes in traffic. They're not waiting at the doctor's office for their turn. It's very fascinating just how efficient this system is that you've created too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that's fantastic, guys. I really do want to say thank you for joining us today. And I mean, I could talk to you for hours, but we definitely want to keep this to the point, sweet, succinct. But there is one thing that I have as a final thought here. And that's just, is there something for our viewers, both of you or either of you would just like to say, you'd really like to emphasize about what you do, or maybe if they're just looking for the right feeling to reach out and connect with you, what is it that maybe you'd like to emphasize to our viewers today about, having met you now?
Sure, absolutely. My biggest take home out of this would be, if you are feeling uncomfortable in your life at this point, explore that. What areas do you need to improve or do you need to look at in order to get you where you want to go? because life is abundant. Life is meant to be lived, expressed, and shared. And if you're finding that you're stuck, whether it's stuck financially, stuck mentally, stuck physically, that's what we do for you. We just help get you unstuck. Like I said, the emotional windshield wiper. Let us help you clean that stuff off so you can actually get where you want to go. Yeah. The second piece of that is if you don't know where you want to go, we can help you with that too.
And I would just add that if you walk through life and you know that there's things that push your buttons, we can help you with that.
Right.
No matter how successful you are, no matter what your walk of life, we all have buttons that get pushed that lead us into doing or feeling things that we don't want. And we can help remove those buttons.
That's awesome. And I like to throw this out there too. It's kind of like, even if you're not a person of faith, it's learning how to live like Jesus.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Always calm, always not stressed, even though you might be feeling it, you're not sharing it with others.
Yeah.
To get to that place is extraordinarily challenging for all of us.
That's right. That's the goal, right? That's why we called it PHASCO, is it's about finding that peace, finding that happiness, finding whatever your abundance is, finding what makes you significant, finding love, and being open and vulnerable. Yeah.
That's awesome. Such a great program, guys. And thanks again for sharing that now with our viewers. I'm obviously going to look forward to seeing you both again, myself personally, and spending some time together. But I do want to say thanks to all of our viewers today. If they'd like to reach out to you, we're going to have their comments in below. So in the YouTube description, we're going to have PHASCO Health. We're going to have your name and your email and phone number, of course, and any links. We'll make sure we get that posted in the notes before. Again, thanks for joining us, Pat and Heather. And I would just love for you to introduce how people can reach out to you.
Sure. Thank you, Chris. Well, as a gift to you and all of your viewers on this program, what we like to do is offer your clients, your customers, the people that are taking the time to watch this, a 15-minute discovery call with us. There'll be a link down below for you to join in. It'll go directly to our calendar, and you can book a 15-minute session to decide if we're the right fit for you. We'll take a few minutes. We'll hear about where you want to go, where you're at, and how you want to get there, and what might be holding you back. And if we find out it's a good fit, we'll move forward there. And it'll give us an opportunity maybe even to clear a couple of those big programs for you. So,
and our other contact information will be below this video as well. So reach out anytime.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, and best wishes to you and all of your fans out there.